can catapult them. Who do you have for number 5?
All right, so for number 5, I've got the Texas Longhorns. This is probably a little bit too high given the way that I, rated all my top 25. This is more of a projection as to where I think they're going to be based on who they've got coming back. But heading into Steve Sarkisian's 3rd season, he was 8-5 last year, 25th in points per game and 28th in opponent points per game. So they were very balanced. I expect a lot more from their offense this year, though. Quinn Ewers returns as quarterback. He should be healthy this year. And if not, he's got a capable backup behind him in Malik Murphy. I don't really expect to see much of Arch Manning this year unless they're in blowout wins. But I've heard that he's also kind of turned the corner and has turned some heads here recently, here in fall camp, more so than he did in spring camp. But Malik Murphy is a viable option if they need him. Bijan Robinson is out at running back. Jonathan Brooks is listed as a starter. I'm also hearing a lot of good buzz from 5-star true freshman CJ Baxter. So expect to see him get plenty of carries as well, and he may even work himself into the starting role by the end of the season. This is my favorite group of wide receivers. I don't think they're the best group, but this is my favorite, especially in the top 3 with Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, and Nayer. I'm forgetting his first name, but anyways, Isaiah Nayer. There we go. Yep. Also figured to see true freshman Jonte Cook shine as well. And there's also been some buzz around tight end Jatavian Sanders as a pass catcher. But I would expect to see them mostly stick with those 3 receivers, and this isn't a Texas team that typically features the tight end all that much, but he is getting some buzz this fall camp. But this on the offensive line, I think the most important position group on offense outside of the quarterback is going to be a top 5 group. This may be the best offensive line in the country by the end of the season. So I'm really high on this offensive line as well. They had a really big jump on defense last season. But then they went and lost 2 defensive tackles and 2 defensive backs. But they've recruited really well. They've hit the transfer portal pretty well. And they actually stand to take a step forward and take another jump. It's going to be led by their nose tackle up front and Byron Murphy. And you mentioned earlier there being this deficiency of nose tackles. Well, that's because Texas has one of the best ones in the country. Byron Murphy is an absolute stud. He's a guy who can, stuff the run. He can get after the passer. He can do it all. So he's going to be exciting. True freshman linebacker Anthony Hill is one to watch as well. He's multiple. He can get after the passer. And then they also brought in transfer safety Jalen Arkansas. He was once the freshman all SEC player, but battled injury. So with him coming back, he should be able to really contribute now. And they also brought in cornerback Gavin Holmes from Wake, who is super fast. And they have a true freshman in Malik Muhammad who will get meaningful snaps as well, again, in that secondary. So overall, I think Texas has a complete roster. They're favorites to win the Big 12. I think they do just that and end up winning 11 games in the regular season. I have them beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I have them making the college. Well, I'm going to hold off on that. So we'll save that for later. But that said, I think they will inevitably prove me and everyone else who's assuming that Texas is going to do all these great things this year, and everybody who's drinking the burnt orange Kool-Aid. I think that they're going to prove all of us wrong by December. But as for right now, I think they have the roster to do it this year. And I'll be there for the letdown come December, along with all the Longhorns fans.
Number 3, I've got the Texas Longhorns. Just like Mason said, I guess Texas is back, or at least I guess they are in my mind. So you've got returning QB Quinn Ewers, outstanding weapons at wide receiver: Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington, A.D. Mitchell, Isaiah Nair. The question is going to be a wide receiver unless a bunch of those guys get hurt or something. You do lose Bijan Robinson, which is a big loss. Obviously, that was a top 10 pick running back. That doesn't happen very often. It'll be running back by committee. Tight end Sanders is very good. It's another team. I'm not worried about the offense. I'm more worried about the defense. Can they get after the quarterback? They couldn't do that last year. The defensive line is much deeper this year. Second level linebackers are looking better. Catalan came over from Arkansas to play in the secondary. If he can stay healthy, I feel like that'll be a big help. But it's going to be a question of the defense. And I feel like they're, with the Big 12 schedule that they're playing this year, I feel like they're going to be able to sneak by all that with this defense. And I think the offense is going to be really good, much more consistent this year. And Quinn Ewers last year didn't even know a lot of the calls at the line. I mean, he was struggling to understand the offense. So he has been in much more command of this offense in the fall and spring, and I expect Texas to take a step up. And if they can beat Alabama in that Week 2 game, that is going to be a huge coup for them, and I think will propel their team throughout the rest of the year. And I think Alabama's going to have a hard time stopping them. So I can't wait to see that game. I don't expect it to be 20-19 again. I can tell you that.